tasks you have to take care of, but time management.
Mm.
If you look at busy people, everyone I know two billionaires and, a good handful of multimillionaires,
Mm.
and they're all great at time management. They
Mhm.
know to wake up and do this, and then they have a lot of free time.
Yeah.
And the people who are struggling have all the time in the world because they really don't have to do a job or something, especially if they're not working, or if they have a job, if they came home and put in 1 hour a day, this is what I'm going to do instead of
Mhm.
letting their imposters run wild in their head or make phone calls or drink or just zone out and watch TV. And
Yeah.
it's hard at first, then it gets to be.
Welcome to the Resilient Minds podcast, stories of grit, growth, and success. On this show, we focus on the real stories behind the success, the struggles, the resilience, and the courage it took to keep moving forward even when times got tough. My goal is to provide you with stories of hope and transformation, showing that no matter the challenges, there is a way forward, and you can find it. This is Resilient Minds.
Hey, I'm your host, Dr. Jacqueline Campbell, and I'm here with Lisa Haisha. She is a transformational speaker, a coach, and an author, and she has been traveling the world giving to so many different people who they have multiple parts of themselves that they need to transform, but we all get lost in this, and she helps people navigate through that. Thank you so much for joining us, Lisa.
Hi, so good to be here.
Well, I definitely appreciate you giving this time to me because this is exactly where I would love to be within the next 10 years, just giving back, sharing your knowledge. And you've actually accumulated a lot of knowledge traveling the world doing this. Can you go ahead and tell our audience what exactly do you do?
I travel a lot. I lead retreats and workshops. And I'll start saying this since we talked a little bit before. If
Mm.
you want to be successful, you have to do what you're passionate about. So, my passion, when I really sat down with myself to think about it, my passion was travel. I love meeting people of all cultures. I love learning. I love growing. I love art. I love history, all that stuff. So, I thought, what can I do that involves travel? So, I went to school, I got my master's degree, and I thought, let me go do retreats and workshops on cruise ships and in all these different countries, wherever I want to go, let me create something there. So that's how it started in that way. So then when you're doing something you love, people feel it.
Yeah.
This is a little woo-woo, but I think the universe gets in alignment with you because you're doing your passion. You're not fighting against anything.
Hmm.
I think when you when you start going in one direction and one voice will tell you you're not good enough, that field is crowded, or I don't have this degree to do it, or I'm too busy. And usually, when you're too busy, that means you don't know how to manage your time because
Hmm.
resilience isn't about being strong. What I teach is soul blazing, which is a know thyself framework about who are the imposters in your head
Hmm.
taking over your life. So it's not about oh my God, I'm scared, or I'm not good enough. That's your judge imposter. That's your overthinker. That's your victim. That's your this.
Yeah.
So when you give the mic to your authentic self and say, hey guys, I hear what you're saying, but you sit down, you're not in the scene. I'm the director. And you
Yeah.
give the director the mic, which is your authentic self. And your authentic self says, if this feels right to you and your intentions are in alignment with what you want to do, you'll make it. There's nothing that'll stop you. But when I've got to make $1 million, I have clients like that. I said, I won't take you. I won't take clients. And I was training people, coaches, and I wouldn't train coaches who just, oh, I want to make $1 million. How do I do that? Because
Yeah.
they're not in alignment and they're not going to be good. And they have to have walk their talk, I think.
Mm.
So if you're teaching something, walk your talk. What did you do to have that title, not just put a shingle up on your door and
Yeah.
you still are a wreck, yet you're teaching other people how to get their life together or whatever it is. If you want to be a writer, practice writing, read a bunch of the great writers out there. If you want to act, read, watch the great performers, read the great books.
Mm.
So get knowledge and really sit in it and get rid of the I've got to make it and I've got to make money and I've got to, that starts derailing you so fast.
Well, what you're talking about is living in our passion, and it comes so much easier. And those blockages that we're fighting so hard to get through, they're not really there because we're flowing usually when we're in our passion, we're in our creativity. And when you're talking about learning from other people who've done it or being open and receptive to different changes or ways to shift it or morph it by reading the books, I found the hard way because I was in the mental health field, only seeing clients, and that transformation and that supportive element that I was providing people, watching them transform and coming up with different scientific ways to help them through their nervous system to get through it was where my passion was. So I actually started failing at everything when I was trying to run a business because then it became about the money, and then I was trying to meet milestones and making it very specific to business. I had to read all these books and get all these coaches, and I hated every second of it. And I was horrible at it. So that's what, and I had to learn that the hard way too. And this is what you teach people is how to find out whether you're operating out of an imposter or if it's your true authentic self. Because if it's about transformation, I absolutely love reading those books. Even if it's a business owner helping you run your business, if it's about transformation. And so a lot of people I found that way too, like they're chasing something that's not authentic and it's complete, it's the imposter, like you're talking about. You said that was your blazing soul is your framework, and that's your
Soul blazing.
soul blazing.
Yeah, I like blazing soul. Why not?
Right? That's what it sounds like. But it's all what is the premise of the book?
Well, you're not oneself, you're a cast. And
Yeah.
resilience starts when you give the right person the mic.
Mm.
So, and that's your authentic self. When you're letting your overthinker take over, or your victim, this happened to me and that happened to me, and oh my God, I can never do that, or I have no money. You have to have millions to create a business. I don't have
Yeah.
contacts. All that stuff is overthinker, judge. So we have our different protectors. So those come in to say our imposters were born when we were children to protect us from
Yeah.
certain things. But right now, as adults, they hurt you and they hinder you. We don't need all that protection. We just have to go. What do we want?
Mm.
So I think getting a handle and really learning about how your imposters were born and how to, manage them would change your whole life.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me. And I think
Mm.
silence is the best teacher also. I
Mhm.
think I love reading books. One of my favorite gurus is Sadhguru.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
yeah, but he says, don't read books. I never have read a book in my life, and I download all the information. So I don't think we're all Sadhguru or have that kind of
Mhm.
patience, just been years and nature and years,
Mhm.
But I think there's a nice, beautiful overlap there.
Mhm.
Um, where you could read some of the greats and really meditate on some of the things they're saying that really resonate with you, and
Yeah.
then go out in silence and say, why am I reading this? What is the purpose of this for me? And
Mhm.
just thinking about it and journaling and really give yourself time. You don't have to write pages. You could even write one sentence in an hour. Just get that, little gem, that little piece that resonates with you. And one sentence could change your whole life. And, I love what Joe Dispenza says. Um, you're not one person. Oh, if you want to change your personality, you could change your personal reality. So if your
Mhm.
personality is saying, let me get up on the same side every day, let me then brush my teeth and have my coffee, then sit down, then stress out about the day. Oh, this person called, take that call. Oh, now let me do this. Oh, wait, before I do this, let me clean my office. Oh, let me, whatever it is you're doing. So you got to say, okay, no, I am going to change my um, personality by changing my personal reality. I'm not going to get up on the same time. Maybe I'll sleep in another room. When I get up, this is what I'm going to do. I meditate,
Yeah.
because if you believe your thoughts create your reality, which they do, you should create your reality every morning. You should set that up. Who am I going to be today? What are your four pillars? I have my four pillars that I say to myself every day. It's on my screen, on my phone, my wallpaper. This is who I am. So every decision I make will have to fit these four pillars, not one,
Mhm.
not two, all four.
Mhm.
So if they fit that framework, it's a yes. If it doesn't,
Yeah.
it's a no. And then that way it takes out so much clutter from your life.
Mhm.
It takes out so many people that are just noise or chaos. It's not your job to fix other people. It's your job to maybe guide or to, if someone you love, but not to fix, give them the tools. Otherwise,
Yeah.
they're never going to change. So that's one of my client's biggest thing is, oh, I have to take care of this person, I have to take care of that, or I have all
Yeah.
these kids, kids, yes, you have to take care of, but time management.
Mm.
If you look at busy people, everyone I know two billionaires and a good handful of multimillionaires,
Mm.
and they're all great at time management. They
Mhm.
know to wake up and do this, and then they have a lot of free time.
Yeah.
And the people who are struggling have all the time in the world because they really don't have to do a job or something, especially if they're not working, or if they have a job, if they came home and put in 1 hour a day, this is what I'm going to do instead of
Mhm.
letting their imposters run wild in their head or make phone calls or drink or just zone out and watch TV. And
Yeah.
it's hard at first, then it gets to be exciting. Again,
Mhm.
resilience happens when you give the right imposter the mic. It's not working
Mhm.
harder, trying harder. It's all that's a waste of time. All
Right.
that's trying to prove instead of be,
Well,
you know.
and that I completely agree with that. Just a second ago, you said give the right imposter the mic. You meant that because there's all imposters, and you meant to give the mic to the authentic self, right?
Yeah, because right now, a lot of people are just being outvoted. Like if you want to be the top
Mhm.
podcaster, and have 5 million followers, your imposters are saying, stop, there's already so many. You're late in the game. Who
Yeah.
are you to be that? Oh, I'm not educated enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't have the right this or that. I don't have the contacts. I don't know how to leverage myself. It'll cost so much money to leverage myself.
Mhm.
I called one company to say, how can I leverage myself? With social media. This was a few years ago. And they wanted to charge me $250,000 to
Mhm.
post twice. They would come to my house and shoot two 90-second videos. And then a top thought leader who has 5 million, followers would post it once. And then another thought leader once for 250,000. So I'm
Wow.
like, wow, so people would say, oh, I don't have enough money to get into the game but there's other ways. If you just keep showing up being you and have something to say, that's not going to happen,
Mhm.
and being grounded, being in your higher self instead of
Mhm.
the scatterbrain imposters are still trying to
Yeah.
protect you from anything that could possibly go wrong.
Right. And then usually your imposters are built out of fear and lack, right? Instead of, um, feeling more in your creativity or your passion, which is more free flowing. So it's actually not contained because when it comes to like different things that you could do, but then there's a barrier, right? Like let's say it is money,
Yeah.
because that's everybody's biggest thing, or time, right? Knowing that, okay, that is what I want to do, and no, I don't have $250,000 to invest in that right now. So let's find another option that gives me the same thing for, I don't know, something that's more reasonable or something that's free. Right? Like who knows? Like just being open. What I've noticed is because you don't get upset at the lost opportunity, which would increase the fear and put that imposter back in that seat, that it leaves you open. So when another opportunity shows up that's even better, you can actually see it. So I love that your example says to be more authentic, because then you're not limiting yourself. You're just open and free and following your passion because the fear's not even there.
Yeah, and the fear isn't there because you're letting the right person lead.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. You're not oneself, you're a cast, and your
Mhm.
inner cast is competing for the
Right.
mic. Wait, I'm a victim. No, I'm overthinking that. I'm the
Yep.
judge. You're not good. All these people are competing. So once you go, hey guys, sit down. I'm in charge. I'm
Yeah.
the boss. You're just in a couple of scenes. You don't get to take over my whole life.
Right.
Seriously, once you start going spiraling, you go, wait a minute. and just pause.
Yep.
Who's talking? Whose voice is that? Is that my mother's fears coming through me? Is it my father's? Is it what someone did in school? Was it a bully? Was it a sibling? Who did what to me that I'm on guard? Was it a
Yeah.
stranger? And you go, okay, calm down. I'm going to sit down, give me the mic, and you let your authentic soul take over. And once you could really do that and say, I'm in charge, that's the all-knowing part of you. We really don't need to do anything. Who we are, we are born pure, we are born
Mhm.
smart, born to do what we're supposed to do. But all this chaos in our head prevents it. So once you silence that noise, that's the whole point of meditation.
Yep.
Do meditation, silence, all the voices in your head. And people think, oh, I just have this one stream of voice, but no, you could break it down and they come from so many different directions. And once you go, oh, this is what it is, your whole life shifts.
Right. When it comes to you discovering this for yourself, because I mean, we can't do for others what we haven't done for ourselves.
Correct.
And like you were saying, doing the work, there must have been a version of you before this transformation. What was that like?
Um, I was creative. I was a messy creative. Um, I was doing a
12-year-old
lot.
artist. I have a
Yeah,
12-year-old artist who's just like that.
yeah, I was doing a lot, but getting nowhere, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. I was writing books, I was traveling, I was doing these workshops, but nothing was scaling. It ended there. It
Yeah.
ended there. So, oh, I made some money. Now I don't have money for 3 months because I don't know how to then monetize those clients. Let's do
Right.
one-on-one. I had no systems in place. I would just show up and say, oh, guess what I learned? This is what happened, and da da da. And people, we'd all have a great time together. And then that would be it. And
Yeah.
then I didn't have anything else in the pipeline, or this month I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do a podcast, or now I'm going to do a whatever it is, create videos or do a school. And then I started saying at one point, oh, I met someone who became kind of a mentor who worked with a lot of people who were authors and writers and coaches. And this was, God, in like 2007, 8, 9. And he said, oh, what you have to do is create an ongoing thing. And this is before Zoom and all that. It was, remember it was just audio where you could teach a class just audio. It was like conference calls. Yeah,
Maybe
it
that
was
was
just
before I was even on something like this.
yeah, it was just conference calls.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
created 6 1-hour calls, like for a course, get media ready,
Yeah.
and like just different areas in your life, how to accomplish this, finance, every area, spirituality. So I created 1-hour classes, and then I had something to do. So I'd do a retreat, then I'd say, oh, just sign up for these classes. Then I
Yeah.
would get people on so it's just like this, but just audio. And I'd have about 15, 20 people. And at that time, people had a lot more money and it wasn't oversaturated. So I was charging $800 a person for these classes. And that's a lot when you have 20 people on a call. And then it's every week, or doing something. So it started, then I went, oh, I get it. You have to actually have a plan of this is what you teach. What are the different ways you could
Right.
monetize it? But it has to come from, I want to share and give back information I have.
Mhm.
What gift was I given and how do I give it away? And
Right.
that's where it comes from. Once you shift from that to the money part,
Yeah.
it works. When I was like, oh, I'm going to charge this much, what can I do? I need to make this.
Mhm.
It never worked. It fell flat on its face. And
Yeah.
I fell flat on my face a million times. I'm surprised I'm still here. I have failed so many times. Oh, and then what I did was I had a whiteboard of all my failures. I said, once I reach 100, I'll make it. So instead of going, oh, this happened, whatever it was, I would go, yes, I'm closer to making it. Let me just create failures throughout the day. Hi, can I come on this show? No, yes, another failure. So
I
when you,
love that reframe.
yeah, so when you flip that switch, you're not going into depression or this is the
Yeah.
wrong field for me. I should just quit. It's like, okay, I got a little ways to go, but I'm getting there.
Yeah.
And then it made it fun. It was like a game.
Yeah, no, I love that. And we all have to reframe different things in our own way because the journey is hard. Nobody said that. I've never heard one person say that it was easy. And the people who have a lot of gratitude and humility when they get to where they've been trying to go, they usually discuss having to let go of the money and give back. The people who are very, from what I've seen, very stressed out, a little bitter, have a lot of unresolved issues. That's because they didn't do the deeper work of the transformation, which is the inside, not the outside, right? And they all say exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, and I believe this is true. And if you talk to other people, they're going to have a different story to tell you. I've met um, uh, people that are so successful and are vicious in business, and their whole goal is to become a billionaire and just get out of my way, get out of my way. They don't care who they step on. And those people do sometimes make it if they have the drive and the focus, which the two I know did, and but they're not happy. They were miserable people. And I think just having a bunch of money doesn't make you happy.
Yeah.
I just read on my phone this morning that the guy who created OnlyFans died today. He was 43 years old and he was worth like $5 billion. Is he happy? I don't think he was happy. And you can't take the money with you. So big deal. I have 1 billion. I'm going to keep pushing and get 2 billion and 3 billion. Why not give all that back? Why not give 1 billion to, whatever, save the environment, do something.
Hmm.
Um, I saw that they weren't happy. They were very angry people and they were using people a lot and being mean and cruel to people. And that to me is not happiness. My motto is having a balance of mind, body, heart, and soul.
Yeah.
And once you do that, um, you're balanced. If you're off in one direction, you
Hmm.
know you're off. And what can you do for each of those categories?
Right. And
And
I personally, I get off a little bit too much into my mind because I could read too many books, I could listen to too many training videos, and so
yeah,
that's where
that's
I'm,
too much too. Yeah.
right. It seems healthy, but I'm like, no, like that can be a problem too because everything needs to be balanced. I completely agree. When you were struggling with the business aspect, or maybe even your lowest point came before that, who knows? But what was that like for you? How were your imposters running your life?
Well, I came out here to Los Angeles to be an actor, and then I was struggling so much. I was getting some parts and some commercials, but the Me Too stuff was a lot live and well
Mhm.
without anyone talking about it at that time. So I'm going, oh my God, every time I'm on a set, I'm feeling compromised or I'm feeling demeaned, or I was an ingenue and everyone could see that. I was so fresh and naive and people trying to take advantage of that. And it just felt really bad. I ended up quitting after about 3 or 4 years. After doing some parts, I just thought this isn't the lifestyle I want, where you're
Mhm.
always stressed, always who's out to get me, and how do I out manipulate or get out of the situation, but still get to work without making an enemy or someone demeaning me if I don't comply. And it was just a lot. And
Yeah.
I'm from a Middle Eastern background and from my on my father's side, and that just didn't work for me. And um, anyway, so I quit, and I got my commercial agent got me a job in Tokyo. So I ended up getting to model over there, and I got to make a lot of money, which was wonderful. And from that, I had enough to live on. And then I said, wait, I still want to be in acting, not
Mhm.
acting necessarily, maybe directing or producing, because I still love the art of filmmaking. I love films. And so I said, oh, I met all these contacts in Tokyo, ask them. So I asked them for $1 million because that's at that time, 1997, 98. That's what Tarantino just came out and did the $1 million independent film in a warehouse. And I think it was Reservoir Dogs or something. And so anyway, I pitched that and I got $1 million within 3 months.
Oh,
And
wow.
Yeah. And I pitched it as they said, well, what's your experience? I go, it's not about the experience or the money because I lived there. I understood them. I said, you guys want to, you are in love with American culture. You want to be with American girls. You want to buy real estate in LA because they're always here trying to buy real estate. And you
Yeah.
want to better your English. So you're paying this money to do all that. And if you lose it, it doesn't matter because you're going to make it back in real estate that we're going to help you buy where you're not paying Japanese prices, you're paying American prices. We're going to come in to buy and then you could take it over. And I said, then yeah, so you're not losing money. And this is a year to better your English, better your understanding of this culture, better
Mhm.
understand your business of how you want to frame it. Because I had a lot of business friends. I said, I'll set you up with these people while you're here. Go learn about all this. And so it's like your school. And I said, if you don't spend this $1 million, you're going to just give it to taxes because taxes were so high. I said, so you're instead of giving it to taxes, use it for personal growth. So that made sense to them. So they said, okay. And then that's what we did. And we did this film and it was so much fun. It was a win-win. I still talk to them every year for New Year's. They said, it's still the best year of my life. Because I said, this is going to be the best year of your life. Because all they do is wake up early, go to work all day, go to hostess clubs, drink themselves to death, go to bed, rinse and repeat. I said, you're going to get a year of all this fun stuff. So they're still the best year. I said, are you sure? Yes. I said, me too, and it's just sweet. It's cute. And then, yeah, so that helped me a lot because now I'm going, okay, now I have a film that I directed.
Right.
And I put myself in a small part because I was pretty famous in Japan. So they said, oh, let's to help sell it in Asian market. So I killed myself off like 10 minutes in. So, but it was fun. It was a great thing. But then that led to other producing jobs and other directing jobs. So now I'm doing my passion without having to compromise. And then I actually like that better. I didn't have all that stuff that actors have. I didn't have to be a size two. I didn't have to look
Yeah.
perfect. I didn't have to memorize all the lines. I didn't have to have bosses, pushing their dysfunction on me and
Yeah.
whatever it was. Then I still got to stay in the creativity and create my team, create the atmosphere, and it was great. Um, and then I decided, oh, I want to write a book. And the Japanese said, oh, well, you come and do these. It's only twice a year, and we'll send you someplace like to China, Amsterdam, Prague, Budapest,
Mhm.
all these places, and just do these trade shows. So I started doing that, and I thought, oh, I went to Iraq, and that orphanage let me go to the orphanages and all these places. So you're tying it together because you're coming from your truth. And I gave the director, my authentic soul, the mic. And once that took over,
Mhm.
it made sense, and other people got it. If I wasn't allowing my director to lead my inner cast, they would not have given me the money if it was my victim. And now if I had planned it, I'm going to go raise $1 million and it wouldn't have worked either. Let me get the script together. That goes, where's the script? I said, it's here. Where's the budget? You don't need a budget. It's always $1 million because that's what it was at the time. I said, then I'm going to run out and I'm going to ask you for 250,000 more for post-production and marketing. Why? I don't know. That's what everyone does. And since I was so authentic and like honest, they said okay, and they
Yeah.
gave me the money. And but if I came in with the budget and we're going to do this and this is how it works, I said they just put numbers in a budget. It's rough. They
Yeah.
always shift and change. You can't guarantee a budget. I said this is just what I know from friends. And but they what they bought was the dream of transformation, of
Yep.
bettering themselves and bettering their businesses through understanding from a from an insider of what it takes. And then
Right.
I set them up with all these people here who are running good businesses and then we bought them real estate, so it was great. It was a win-win. So it's all about alignment. You have to name it, frame it, and tame it. Name what imposter is it? Then, frame it. What are you here to protect? Then tame it, give the mic to the right person. That's long story short. It's a whole course, but once you do that and you just go, oh my God, this is happening, you go, okay, stop, name it. What is it? Which one's got
Mhm.
the mic? Which one's trying to survive? That's in fear right now. And then you could catch it. And once you then just do a little meditation on it, thank you for showing up, but I don't need this anymore. This was a
Yeah.
long time ago. I don't need this. Let me be. And then take the mic, give the right person the mic. Then it's like, okay, now you think this through. Don't let one of these people think this situation through. And that goes with relationships too. It
Yep.
goes with work. It goes with everything. It's how you manage your life, how you manage your time, how much you love yourself. If you don't love yourself or even like yourself, how are you going to do well in business? You're not. You're going to feel like an imposter. So you have to
Uh-huh.
do the work on who are you. Unless you want to be a con artist, then you don't have to. You just want to make everyone feel as bad as you feel.
Right. No, that's true.
Again, I don't think that brings happiness, and that's not what this show is about. This show is about the people who really want to make a difference in the world and make money, but authentically and give back their true gifts that they were born with.
Absolutely. I was gonna ask you because we before we hop off today, I wanted to ask you what is something during your lowest point, and it sounds like right before, like when before you did the $1 million move with the director, part of you, there was a lot of imposters active. But I think I was gonna ask you what helped you through that moment, like what coping skill or tool or resource, but you literally just told us right now, right? You said, and it was based off of your framework. You said name it, frame it, and then tame it, right?
Yes.
Okay,
And I was
awesome.
doing some of this without having the words,
Mm. Yeah,
without having
because
the
you went through
vocabulary.
it to be able to create it into a framework, put it in the book, put it in the course, and now you can give it to other people to do.
Yeah, and I was married for 18 years, really 20. We separated, but we're still married. So 20 years we were very much engaged, and we were having issues in our marriage. And I would just say, who are you? Who is this person? Like the different personalities that would come through the door. Some just, oh, I just want to be alone, or the temperamental one, or then the loving one, and then the just got to work. I got to sit down and get all this work done. Who are these people? So I'd start to ask, who's coming home?
Yeah.
And then he'd say, who are you today? And we had these different personalities that we created and fun names for each other. And then if they weren't in alignment, we did our separate things. So we didn't come home and have the conflict. And if
Right.
we're in alignment, we did everything. We said, okay, let's do this tonight. And if we weren't, just be you, but we don't have to fight
Yeah.
about it. Now we're
Right.
clear. It's not, again, you're not one self, you're a cast. So which cast member is overriding? And if you can't bring it to a mutual where both of our cast members could meet,
Mm.
let's just do our own thing. And if we really want to be together, let's both bring our authentic self together. And we did not fight for like 2 years. It was amazing. And that's when I thought, okay, I've got to write this down now. Because he's a
Yeah.
tough one. He's not an easy person to shift and change. And he was shifting and changing. So I'm like, okay, there's something here if I got you to do this and do that, just
Yeah.
with labeling and naming and laughing, at what was there.
Well, it takes the shame and the stigma out of it, but then you're
Correct.
also authentic with yourself and your partner. So you're just naturally more self-reflective, and awareness helps with everything and
Yeah, it's not
vulnerability.
you, it's your damn imposter. Get him
Yeah,
out of
so
there,
that's fine. Or go to that room, go to that other room. Uh,
Yeah, I love
so
you. Don't like that person.
Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate everything that you shared with the listeners. I'm sure it's going to be very valuable.
Yeah, and just remembering that you don't have to keep bouncing back. Resilience isn't about bouncing back, it's coming back to your true self.
Mm.
So that's all it is.
I
He's
love that
speaking.
because you're more grounded and centered. And what I say, yes, I say bounce back too, but I say whenever you're more centered, you're obviously more your authentic self, but you're just more present. And so when your energy is scattered, you're more likely and susceptible to have somebody or something like you're saying, imposters come in, but everybody has their different words to
Yeah.
describe it, but it's
Yes.
all the same thing. It's right here, right now, and it's you, like when you come back to you.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Oh,
I appreciate
thank
you.
you. Thank you. And you're doing great work. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.